Yeah, we should do that. Where's the software? We should, like, make a bunch of stupid people.
Hola. And here comes Kayla. It's Kayla. Little song for you. Hi. Let me get attendance taken care of here.
Have you watered this plant, by the way?
I have not watered it. You almost.
You got the bottom for it.
I did get the bottom for it. You almost never have to water those.
Yeah, I know. You haven't watered it since when I came here?
No. But that was when you told me to do that. That was like literally a week ago.
Was it really? It felt like so long.
I'm pretty sure. Well, like, I mean, I could look back in my Amazon history and tell you when it was because I ordered that thing like right then. But yeah, you really, the easiest way to kill those is by watering them too much. I have one that I got like when I moved to Charleston and it's still alive, but I just had to like divide it into two different plants because it's grown so much. Like I kind of wish that it wouldn't grow as much as it is, just because like I don't have to. I'd like for that one to stay the size that it is. It's perfect. Let's see. Kayla is virtually present. Sarah is virtually present. Isaiah is virtually present. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move closer to y'all when we start discussing, but I have a couple of things to show you first, or maybe only one thing. Yeah, only one thing.
Yo, my hair.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my, well, let me put my AirPlay on here so you guys can see it as well. And then I'll share my screen. So for those of you who have taken advantage of the fact that we have to record and upload Zooms to Canvas, if you're not taking advantage of that, if you've missed any classes, you should take advantage of it. If you're coming to class every day, it's not a big deal. But in case you are absent at some point, rather than continuing to upload them directly onto Canvas, which takes up a whole lot of space, this is literally the only thing that this class uses Canvas for, but it's just convenient because there's no good place to do it on D2L. But if you go to the home page of Canvas right here, click below for past Zoom sessions. If you click that, it will bring you to a YouTube playlist of just the videos from this class. Because I've made playlists for each of my classes, and like uploading them to YouTube doesn't take up all the space that it would if I put them directly on Canvas. And that way I can just keep them all anyway. So that's very handy. And if you miss classes and need to go back and watch the Zooms, then that is an easy way to do it. Who's outside my door? Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing. And it's discussion time. Did everybody finish reading? It got worse.
It's so uncomfy, Miss McClellan.
I know. I'm gonna come over here to be closer to.
I'm not gonna lie though, the ending was a little bit confusing.
The ending was a little bit confusing. Okay, so what are you? I know. This is my biggest one, actually.
What?
That's my biggest class.
What?
The biggest class with people in it. Yeah, there's 4 of you in here. That's the most I have. 3 students, but Hunter is also a student. Oh. But he's a body in the room, so yeah, I guess this is the biggest class. My first period I have 3 and then 2 and then 1 and then y'all. AP David is in here. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll just have Randall for my English 3 class.
You could have David play Monopoly.
I don't even like Monopoly.
I don't know. I've never really played it really, like, conscious, because I played it when I was 2.
Yes, when I was a kid, I played it,
Really below 10.
but I don't remember like. Yeah, Miss Cathan plays with her family like every time that they're in town. They just like love to sit around and play Monopoly. I think it's like, I think it's not. It wouldn't be good for like family bonding. People get upset about Monopoly.
I don't really get that.
Getting upset about it?
Yeah, I don't really understand it.
Well, I don't really remember the game well enough to know like what there is to be upset about. I don't either.
Like, I don't get it. Like, do you buy everything?
Yeah, you buy everything.
Basically, that's the only method.
You buy and then upgrade.
Okay, so I would encourage you guys, I think I would encourage you guys to sign into Zoom so that when you talk, everybody can hear you.
Okay.
It is on Canvas, if nothing else.
Bing bong.
So what do you think happened in the ending?
I honestly don't. I have no idea. Like it describes.
Oh, if he like joined the wolves or was mauled by them.
Okay,
It's either or. One of those.
she either joined the wolves or was mauled by them. One of the two.
I noticed was that grandma died, which isn't what's supposed to happen in the story.
Yeah, it kind of. I thought it was weird that she didn't really seem to be upset about that.
True. Wait, hold on. Can I please get the Zoom first? I can't
I
find
think she was at first, but then she kind of like accepted it. It was just like, well, guess this isn't it now.
Yeah, she like got excited and was smiling and like tearing the wolf's clothes off. So she
Yeah, I was very
was
uncomfortable
she
by that.
actually murdered her grandmother.
It's
Okay, hold on. I'm doing it. In the end, I don't know. Like, I feel like it describes that the girl was everything the wolf wanted to be, and then it said they laid down.
Yes.
So maybe his human side came out.
Well, okay.
That's actually a good question or point. I would also say probably mute yourselves if you're not talking. But
Oh wait.
I muted myself, but I didn't. I forgot that.
The dude is like, I feel like he is a human. He's not a wolf because it mentions that like when he first comes on the scene,
He has clothes on.
he has clothes on. I think it even talks about him being like a handsome young man.
Wait, it's the hunter. The hunter, right? He's the hunter.
Kind of both. Like he's the hunter and the wolf.
When does he become the wolf? Was he?
That's a great question.
A werewolf. Well, don't you remember? There's a part right before he eats the grandma. He starts taking off his clothes as if he's
But
about to.
like also, is he actually a
Go
wolf?
away, Mike. I think that's
I think so. It would be funny if it was Nykerk though. Go away. I'm not sure that he's physically a wolf, is he? Because it does, like, it talks about it kind of describes him in a wolfish way, like his matted hair and his like sharp teeth and like all these other things, but I don't know that he is actually, I mean, like the old lady saw, what are you doing?
Great.
Like he licked his chops, blah blah. Like he's acting like a wolf, but I don't think he
Yeah, maybe
is actually a wolf.
part
Which,
of
like, we
him-
know that the author's intent was to, like, take out whatever, like, disturbing themes she saw in these fairy tales originally and kind of make something out of that. So maybe what she's going with there is, like, the wolf being a predator, and, like, she's turning this guy kind of into a predator.
Yeah, but the guy ate her grandma.
Yeah. I mean, he is a predator.
So that's
Where I'm confused
Well, I know.
because like
Yes, I know.
there's no transition. There's no transition. Like they split apart in the woods, right?
Yes.
And then he goes through the woods with his stuff, and then it talks about her grandmother's place, and then he's at the door getting ready to kill her grandma.
Wait, but does he eat her? Does he
thought
actually
so.
eat the grandma? So I'm looking back at it. I'm not sure that he does. I think that he might. I mean, he definitely murders her. But
wasn't like what because it talked about throwing the bones in her hair and like any evidence.
I
of her
mean, well, okay. It says that he licked his chops. The wolf is carnivore incarnate, sort of implying that he eats her. But then she sees like white hair in the fireplace.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's like a part where
That's true. They never said that he ate her.
But
Hold
I,
on.
He
I
licked his
feel like
chop.
it's implied.
Yeah,
But why would he eat her hair?
Yeah, he licked his chops and
and also there's only hair and bone left.
Exactly.
yes, that's true.
So he became
Oh, he
a
burned
werewolf?
the inedible hair. He
Right.
definitely ate her.
Yeah. So
He burned the inedible hair.
so he's a werewolf.
I guess he's a werewolf.
But they just introduced that so
Like,
suddenly, like as if
Yeah, it's like you don't even
this
actually
guy,
address
he's
it.
a werewolf, you know? The werewolf's here.
Yeah, he just turns back and forth into a wolf.
Yeah,
Or
and
is
then
he a cannibal? I don't know.
yeah,
Like, what is this guy?
but then she shows up, and she's like, "What?" Like she just like submits or something.
Yes. So like at first
She gives up.
she seems scared, like when he starts saying what big eyes you are, all the better to see you with, whatever, and then she notices the hair in the fireplace.
Yeah.
It says she knew she was in danger of death, and then I felt like
But
there
then
was
she's
all
just,
of a
like,
sudden
completely
like
calm.
like a big switch for her. I thought she was gonna like make a go of like running away and stuff, and she didn't. She just like got naked with this wolf man,
Yeah.
and then she like laughed at him, which I thought that was very weird. And like I'm not totally sure how to interpret that ending. Like he is about to eat her, what big teeth you have, and it looks like maybe she's in danger. He even says all the better to eat you with, and then she like laughs in his face and says she knew she was nobody's meat, so she's not intending to die, and she
The ending-
doesn't.
the ending kind of
But,
reminds me of like a
Maybe
Where-
that's why
where's
she's
the
so
change?
calm. She like the word she
submits.
seduces him
Oh,
and like seduces his human side.
Multiple wolves. There was like
Oh yeah, there were like
10 wolves.
20.
So many wolves you could not count them.
right.
Yeah.
And at the end, or close to the end, it does mention like that they hear the howling of the wolves outside. And there's like the title of the story. Those are the voices of my brothers, darling. I love the company of wolves. Look out the
Christmas
window and
Day.
you'll see them. So many. 10 wolves, 20 wolves, so many wolves she could not count them, howling in concert as if demented or deranged. It's very cold, poor thing, she said. No wonder they howl so.
And then yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a weird story.
She does seduce him. She will lay his fearful head on her lap.
Oh, and then the thing about eating lice.
Yeah, that was nasty. That was bad. That was bad.
What is Julius? What is Walpurgisnacht? It's
Oh yeah, where is it?
It's on the last
The
page.
flames danced like dead souls.
Also Forrest's
Halloween.
Liebestod. Did you guys see that?
Is that German
Second to
Halloween?
last, or the last page.
Oh yeah, what is that?
That's it directly translates to like loving death
Oh.
or love. Yeah. So like
What word?
I don't know Liebestod. So like dying for love, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it means in German.
Huh.
Where was it though? What were you guys saying? Oh yeah.
German for love death. Oh, there's like a it's the title of a piece of music from the Tristan and Isolde opera by Wagner. Crazy. Nobody probably cares about that, but
The other word, something knife. Vital. This.
yeah, that's like a holiday. Not a holiday, but it's like the Knights of shoot. I used to know about this and now I can't remember.
Vibe is like, wealth or not wealth, like, baby, newborn animal.
What is?
I think vibe. I think. Unless it's babe.
Okay, so it is a holiday. This feast commemorates the canonization of Saint Valpurga and the movement of her.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know what any of that
Okay,
is.
so it's okay.
It's like kind of a creepy holiday though. Yeah, like it has to do with
But carnivore incarnate.
like warding
Comes
off
up a lot.
evil spirits and witches. Yeah, I used to know about this and now I don't remember. But yeah, it's like a creepy holiday. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like the first question that they have given me for study questions is the silliest question. Is Carter's intended audience for this story children or adults? What evidence can you
What kind of
use
question
to
is
support
that?
your position on this? Anybody think it's for kids?
I kind of want to read this to like a group of kindergartners.
They'd be like, "What's menses?" I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. Okay. This is a good question. In what ways does this female protagonist differ from the traditional Little Red Riding Hood? She's not stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really.
She's not like a.
It's not really from her point of view either. I feel
No,
like
it's really not.
it's from his.
That's a good point.
Because it does. Well, I don't know. I don't really know the original story or Red Riding.
Like
What
in
about
the
it?
original, she didn't like come to her grandma's house prepared. She just came and like, drop off like a pie and leave. And then this one, she had like a knife in her basket. Like,
That's true.
She got intent.
She did.
It was like drawn out as like a lot more mature.
Yeah, more realistic.
Yeah. So in the original one, I'm trying to remember this.
Yeah, I don't
She
remember.
goes and like she's delivering a pie or whatever to her sick grandma, and then I think she doesn't meet the wolf like in the woods, but gets away from him somehow. I guess she just like runs away, and then when she gets to grandma's house, he's like pretending to be her grandma, and there's the whole like, "What big
Yeah.
teeth you have" thing.
But I don't remember if the original one describes him at her house.
I
Yeah.
think so.
It does?
Because
Yeah.
she was talking to him in the forest, and he was kind of like, "Where are you going?" She's like, "My grandma's house." He's like, "Oh, really?" And then that's how he ended up in his grandma's house. And it was
Right.
like he put the grandma in like the cupboard.
Oh, that's an
the wardrobe.
interesting-
Yes.
He like tied her up in the wardrobe, and just like put her clothes on and sat in her bed.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then she's saved by the hunter, right? Doesn't the hunter come in? And that's what actually.
Aren't sheep part of this story too?
Sheep?
don't think sheep are in this.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, what story is that? No, not the movie. Isn't there some
Boy Who Cried
story
Wolf?
like this?
I don't know. I have to admit, my biggest experience with Little Red Riding Hood is probably like this cartoon from like it's a Looney Tune basically, and like the wolf dresses up like a fairy of the woods or something to like trick her. I'm trying to remember that. That's on Netflix though, or it was. It's really good. Well, it might be an exaggeration to say it's really good, but it's fun. And if she does get rescued by the hunter in the original, then that's definitely different because she kind of saves herself in this.
Yeah, but then we don't know what happens after that.
We don't
Like,
know what happens
does he-
after that.
Do they just?
Like, are
Live happily
they?
ever after.
She seems over her dead grandma.
Yeah.
I also thought it was super weird. Like, this is not a very like well-guided discussion because this is the first time I've read this too, and like I don't tend to understand it all. But the fact that the wolf's birthday isn't on Christmas, what's like why?
Yeah, but is that his actual birthday or is it like the wolves?
The werewolf's birthday. Is that the only time it says werewolves? Also?
Is it talking about the guy or is it talking about werewolves in general?
In general? Multiple werewolves. Like werewolves are
Their
Like,
birthday,
their birthday is
Christmas Day.
The original guy from like the beginning. Remember
um
when the lady's husband ran off and he came back and like had his son split off?
I do remember that.
Because if I remember,
Yeah,
the
that too.
descriptions are the same. Like,
They're
the long,
two-
scraggly black hair with the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Like two completely different stories. And I don't even remember them switching.
I
Or
don't
changing.
either.
So I'm trying to.
I think the first story kind of gave like it was like a prelude to the Red Riding story.
Oh. So I'm looking back at it. Like I kind of want to read this whole thing again, but I'm not going to right now. So the guy in the story, the first story, the like first husband who goes missing or runs away or whatever and comes back, he's upset that his wife has another husband now and says, I wish I were a wolf again to teach this whore a lesson. So a wolf he instantly became. He just like turned into one and tore off the eldest boy's left foot. But then he was chopped up with the hatchet that they used for chopping logs. And when the wolf lay bleeding and gasping its last, the pelt peeled off, and he was just as he had been. It's very confusing. So now there's also this thing about like how the devil gives you an ointment that turns you into a wolf the moment you rub it on. So first.
And then at the very end, he says, between the paws of the tender wolf,
Yeah.
not werewolf.
So what is he?
Yeah.
I think
though that werewolf is being kind of used to be like this guy is always a werewolf, like whether he's a man or a wolf, he's all like he is a lycanthrope. And then like when he changes, then they refer to him as a wolf because it does say before he can become a wolf, the lycanthrope strips start naked. If you spy a naked man among the pines, you must run as if the devil were after you. So they talk about him turning into a wolf. He is a werewolf, but werewolves are men who turn into wolves. Weird. Okay, so we've got some color symbolism going on in this story. What various human traits do you think the colors red and white represent? And do you think that her use of those colors is conventional, or does it kind of disrupt the normal associations that we make with them?
It's
Uh,
representative.
Isn't white like the color of
First Julius.
virginity?
It
I was
is.
gonna say that.
Yeah, get owned.
Stop.
Stay mad.
Oh, haven't you known?
I stab you with these.
His main thing was
Chill,
dyed
bro.
red.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's a fake thing.
I know.
Girl entered, that was the first time she saw the Bible closed, and the grandma was
How would you feel if you saw me coming this?
That's right. The grandma's hair is white. What else is white?
She's associated with
Didn't they describe her skin
right.
as white?
Yeah, the porcelain.
As what?
Her skin.
They probably did. That's very
I think her
very
clothing.
typical
too.
of fairy tales.
No idea.
Oh, okay, sorry, Kayla. I didn't see your chat about what the original story was. Fills the wolf's stomach with rocks. I don't even remember that, but that's interesting. It was snowing somewhere in this.
No, that was only mentioned as like the forest, even whenever it was snowing, was still like alive or something like that.
Wasn't it in this, or was it in something else that I'm also reading currently, where they talk about how like the snow on the mountains look? Yeah.
Ew. It talks about her scarlet shawl, the color of poppies, the color of sacrifices,
Yeah.
and the color of her menses.
Yeah. Gross.
What the freak?
Leaving the blizzard died down, leaving the mountains is randomly covered with snow, as if a blind woman had thrown a sheet over them. I mean, I kind of liked that image, but and there's like paw prints in the snow. Snow light. Kayla said blood and innocence, like the red and white. Is that what they're normally used for? Like when you're using color symbolism normally, what are, like you said, white is like the color of virginity or purity or whatever. Madison said it's kind of like good and evil, heaven and hell colors. What else would red normally be? Anger and rage. Oh, I just found they were talking about his red eyes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that kind of fits in. Maybe not rage, but like.
If it like symbolize like it's something negative, if nobody's playing you off, you don't like really care if everyone knows.
That's
But
true.
she described her wearing red.
That's very true.
They described her like white, but she was wearing red, so those two together.
Oh. This story also taught me a couple of new words, like threnody. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know.
Folly.
Yeah, I had never heard that word before, but and then obviously like the German words. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like red is like very animalistic. That might be too on the nose, but like in this story in particular, or like carnal, because you got the wolf's eyes, his red eyes. You've got the scarlet shawl, which like the color of poppies is the first thing they say. I'm like, that's nice and pleasant and pretty. Unless you like read really far into it and talk about, like, I bet somebody has thought about this, how like poppies are really symbolic of World War I. And so like you could see poppies as like a bad.
So what I'm gathering is that this is actually a metaphor for World War One.
For World War I. It's gotta be, don't you think? That's what I read immediately into it. But you have the color poppies, which, unless you are thinking about the World War I thing, are like nice and pretty and happy. but then it goes to the color of sacrifices, the color of her menses, which like either way you're looking at that, it's like bloody and terrible. So red overall is like not a positive color.
What?
And it says something as red as the blood she must spill.
Yeah, I just read that. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, maybe she was
Like,
like,
as-
grandma, like, what, why she gonna hike her vest anyway?
Well, is this? She always thought she already thought she was in danger of death, and like right around that point, she's like looking around for her knife. So I guess she's gonna try to defend herself.
Yeah, does that mean that like the blood that she will cause, like he's gonna kill him,
I think so.
or the blood that she's going to bleed?
I took it then to mean like the blood that she would cause to be spilled.
Okay.
Like she was planning to defend herself against him, but then that didn't happen. What changed? Like, that's just me asking the question. That's not like the study guide or anything, but like, what changes her mind? She's like getting ready to defend herself, and then all of a sudden she's like laughing at him and taking her clothes off and forgetting about grandma, presumably. Like, what changed? The only thing really that happens between those two times is that they hear the howling of the wolves, and they talk about it for a second. And she does say, "Who has come to sing us carols," which is a weird way to phrase where are those wolves? Or like, why do I hear wolves?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
It makes me think of Dracula, actually, because like when they hear the wolves outside, he says that they're his children or whatever, and says what sweet music they make. Weird. See what you're doing, Angela Carter. Oh, this actually says that we should watch the cartoon.
What?
Yeah, it says compare Carter's story with an animated version of the original Little Red Riding Hood tale available online, such as the 1922 Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
And then, well, they want us to like compare that versus the original story, which we would have to read the original story too. And I don't think I necessarily want to do that right now. But let me see if there are any other good. So this is not just about the story, but like about that whole collection of short stories, which is called The Bloody Chamber. Critics hailed it as a work of revisionist version of traditional patriarchal fairy tales. But Angela Carter didn't like that they said that. And she said, I was taking the latent image, the latent context of those traditional stories and using that, and the latent content is violently sexual, and because I am a woman, I read it that way. She also said that despite their female focus, her stories might affect men much more than women because, in her opinion, women already recognize the falseness in literature that mythologizes them. That's an interesting take on it. Like, she's basically saying that females might be more, like women might not have as difficult a time with this story because we already recognize the fact that like women are not portrayed the right way in fiction typically. And like all these fairy tales typically have like this version of women of being like very innocent and pure and everything that's like not the way that women actually are. So men might be more like shocked by this kind of story. I don't know. Are you shocked by this story?
I'm shocked that they chose this story to change.
I'm like a little bit, like, I wouldn't say shocked, but a little bit surprised that it's here in the midst of our Unit 1. Like,
Yeah.
What does this have to do with equality?
especially as compared, well, I think because of like the male and female thing and how we're like taking apart this patriarchal fairy tale. But I don't know, like, in what ways is the original one like patriarchal?
Could be a girl wolf in the original.
What?
Could be a girl wolf in the original.
Well,
Because a hunter saved her.
maybe so. Yeah, that's true. She gets saved by the hunter. He apparently puts rocks in her stomach. And she's like more or less a victim and then a bystander. And in this one, she's even possibly like the seductress at the end. I'm like a little bit confused about this question. So it's asking like not just this story, but a couple of others in the collection. It says that there's a lot of competition between women, and says if women are controlled and tyrannized in these stories, then why do they work against one another instead of banding together? But like, I'm not sure I see a place where women are really in competition with each other in this story.
Yeah.
Like, unless we're talking about the fact that she kind of gives up on her grandma, or like, that's not really competition, but you think she was a wolf too?
Yeah, 'cause I reread the top and then went back to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And in the top, it was talking about like how you take a werewolf clothes and toss them in the fire, like dead end and then a wolf for the rest of her life.
Oh.
And then at the like when she started laughing, she like unbuttoned his shirt, tossed it in the fire, and lost her language.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Well, that's true.
So okay, I like that. So she could be a wolf. She could also just be like condemning him to be a wolf forever, which would, the end is kind of weird. In either case, the end is weird. But like the fact that
Wait, but she didn't throw all of her clothes in the fire.
she didn't throw all of hers in the fire.
Yeah, because she said she was stripped down except for something.
She laughed at him. She ripped off his shirt for him in a fiery wake of her own discarded clothing. She was clothed only in her untouched, another word that I didn't know before, of flesh. But yeah, it's like indicating that she's naked. Integument.
Wait, what? So she is completely naked?
Yeah.
But it says now she was clothed.
Clothed only in her untouched integument of flesh. She's clothed only in flesh. It's
Oh, okay.
kind of like when people say you're wearing your birthday suit and it's not actually a suit.
I've never heard that.
You never heard that?
You've never heard that?
No. What the heck does that mean?
It just means you're naked. Your birthday suit is no clothes.
Who said what?
That's like a common phrase.
Wait, what context does that send?
Well, like I can't think of one at the moment, but people say it.
What?
It's in the hit song. The one about Bruno Mars being lazy.
Oh, yeah, he says
uh,
something like chilling in my birthday suit or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, is that what Gino keeps talking about? every time anyone like sings any word of that song, he's like, yeah, he's talking about naked. What the heck are you talking about?
Just where is it?
That's fun.
I'll just strut in my birthday suit and oh yeah, like and let everything hang loose. So
Oh, that's
there you go.
That's cool.
That song makes a lot more sense now.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so she is actually naked. So you can either, I guess you could either read that as like she is also a wolf. That's what Madison was thinking, and like sort of tricked him more or less by like pretending like she was seducing him and throwing his clothes in the fire, knowing that it would condemn him, or she's just saving herself and like he has to be a it does. Kayla, I think she is like 12. That's the weird thing because it
Yeah.
doesn't it basically, I don't remember how it phrased it, but like it said she just started her period or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay. So she's young, and this does seem like very like she's making some adult moves there at the end.
Yeah. Maybe that's just loopholes
Maybe it's just loopholes.
for writing.
Yeah, you don't like this writing anyway.
I don't like it.
Like the story is weird, but I do like the writing.
It's cool, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want to like read up on it a little bit more and see if I'm just like not understanding some stuff.
Because-
But
But
the ending's
also,
weird no matter what.
he has to be in a form that he wasn't in before
Right.
because they talked earlier. And
Hmm. He was a
she's
man,
fine. Yeah.
and
But didn't it say he changed back? Or he put his clothes back on or something?
Hmm.
Or am I mixing these
I mean,
stories
he's dressed before she takes his clothes off, but it does seem like he's changed. Like he has changed into a wolf at the end. Is he like changing into a wolf as they're talking?
I also don't know when he originally, like, does he...
He got naked to become a wolf when he ate grandma. He is still
Oh, it
talking
also-
though.
It also hinted to him being a wolf earlier, right after they split apart, because it
Uh-huh.
mentions, like, there's blood on his chin or forehead.
Yes, that's right.
That's
So yeah, it does make sense that he would get naked to become a wolf when he ate grandma, but at some point he at least like I don't know what the logistics are of lycanthropy, but like I wouldn't think he could talk in wolf form, and he's saying like he's imitating grandma and saying there's nobody here but we too, my darling. So I don't really know when his changes come or like how thorough his changes are. Because he's wearing something. She starts taking his clothes off. She takes her clothes off, and then she went directly to the man with the red eyes, in whose unkempt mane the lice moved. She stood up on tiptoe and unbuttoned the collar of his shirt. So it seems like he's dressed here, and also that he's a man here.
She seems so calm while doing this.
Very calm.
Also completely naked.
Yeah. To be completely naked in front of a wolf, she's very, very relaxed.
Maybe that means that she was like open to becoming a wolf because the guy had to be naked to be a wolf. So maybe she was like,
That's true.
Shoot.
Okay. Well, we don't have that long left. We have like 9 minutes or something. I'm kind of done with these questions, and also, I don't know if we've necessarily like solved anything here,
Yeah.
but like I'm very curious about this story, and I kind of do want to read some more. Anybody else have any like final thoughts or questions about it?
I'm gonna have to reread this like 3 times tomorrow so I can make my discussion.
I know. I'm gonna kind of.
I feel like the more that I think about it, the less I like realize that I know.
There's a movie of this.
Oh.
I don't want to watch it.
Very weird though. It's a British Gothic fantasy horror film. That's a lot going on there.
Oh, that's an actual movie.
Made in 1984.
Oh,
Angela Lansbury is in it.
Who's that?
Mrs. Potts.
Who's that?
From Beauty and the Beast.
Who's that?
What?
Come on, guys.
Who's Mrs. Potts?
The teapot.
Oh,
Beauty and the
an
Beast.
actual pot.
Yeah. But her name is Mrs. Potts.
Real creative naming there, Disney.
Yeah, great job, Disney. More like, no man.
Okay. So I'm looking at the like plot from the film because the Angela Carter helped write the screenplay for it.
Oh wow.
It's a little bit different. Like the young girl has a name and she like lives with her two parents and sister. Her sister gets killed by wolves. That's not really a part of it. Her grandmother gives her an ominous warning to beware men whose eyebrows meet. To beware of anyone with a unibrow.
Wait a second. You know someone.
Ah, that's funny. You're gonna hunt this wolf that's been like killing all their sheep. On her way to her grandmother's cottage, she encounters an attractive huntsman whose eyebrows meet.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm reading up a summary on this, and apparently, Protholomeon is important because it means a wedding song, and then that's what the wolves are singing. So,
Oh,
for-
What the
interesting.
freak?
And it does say something about a marriage at the end.
Oh, maybe that's what the white is from. All the white.
Oh my god. As she would do, yes, when she's like eating the lice out of his
Oh yeah,
hair.
like a courtship.
And she was
marriage.
doing a savage marriage ceremony.
Yeah.
how romantic.
Very.
Need your girl.
Okay, so like the character's name in the movie is Rosaline, and it says
Divorce.
the hunter arrives at Rosaline's grandmother's house first, where he reveals his bestial nature and kills her. Rosaline arrives later and discovers the carnage, but her need to protect herself is complicated by her desire for the hunter.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
I get some of that though from the
How
story.
old is she in the movie?
I think she is older. It does not
Okay.
say. But in the ensuing exchange, she accidentally injures the huntsman with his own rifle. That didn't happen. Upon this blow, the hunter contorts in pain and transforms into his wolf shape. Rosaline takes pity on the wounded beast, noting that his pack could leave him behind. She sits down and pets him and tells him a story. And this part doesn't happen, but maybe it's revealing about some stuff we're supposed to understand in the story. Ultimately, the villagers arrive at the house sometime later looking for a werewolf. Instead, they discover that Rosaline herself has become a werewolf. That's what you said. Together, she and the husband escape to the forest, joined by a growing pack, having chosen each other as mates. The wolves seem to stream into the real world, breaking into Rosaline's house and gathering outside her bedroom. She awakes with a scream as one leaps into the window and sends her toys crashing to the floor, symbolizing the end of her childhood innocence. Okay, I get some of that, but not all of it.
What? What?
Yeah, I might talk a little bit more about this tomorrow because I kind of want to read up on it. But anybody got any final thoughts before we part ways for today?
Oh, it's good to have that.
Weird story. I know it's a weird story. You don't have to like it. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll see everybody tomorrow.